Hey guys, and down here, this is gonna be my chapter review to One Piece 959 Samurai. Now, I really like this chapter. I thought it was good. We kind of got an answer as to where everyone has been over the last week. So we haven't we had a week break in between, so it's been 2 weeks since the last chapter, as I'm sure you know. But yeah, we got an answer where everybody technically is, but not really where they are right now. We just know why they didn't turn up and why they could possibly be late and why am I so dark? Why is this so dark? You're gonna have to deal with dark me for now. Clouded and shadow, jeez, okay. But yeah, so we start with the chapter. We see Beige and Chiffon. They're in a battle scarred Dressrosa. We see the hill, I think, where Doflamingo got his ass smashed into by Gear 4 Luffy. But let's go straight into the chapter. So we rewind time a bit, and it's 2 days before the battle. We go actually through multiple parts of Wano, seeing where everyone is, seeing what they're doing, seeing what orders they're following, and what they're hoping to do in the time of 2 days. So we go back to Kinemon, basically his last call with everyone. He's like, well done, it's going to be lit, we're going to go kick some ass, meet at the promised port. And we see Frankie, Usopp at Port Itachi. They're getting ready to build these ships essentially for 5,000 people. Everyone's getting hype. And basically, I think at this point they've basically built everything they needed to build. So Usopp's just like, all right, cool, we're gonna go back to Amigasa village, which is the braided hat village, to meet up with the rest of our crew. We're gonna board Sonny for the final battle. It's all good. All the minks and stuff that are already there, and all the samurai that are already there, they're like, you two are amazing shipwrights, all that good shit. So, Frankie and Usopp are getting hype. This is a key part, actually, because Frankie and Usopp both make mention that they're going to board the Sonny for the final battle, but they did say they were going to go to Amigasa village first. So when we see in the next few pages, or the next 10 pages or something, the Sonny being blown away by what looks like some of the beast pirates, because they obviously smile fruit consumers. I get the feeling that maybe Frankie and Usopp were there, but just as well they might not have been there. I mean, it would have made sense for them to meet up at Amigasa village first, then go to the ship, right? So maybe not. We go to Udon prison, where Hyogoro is talking about how the weapons are gonna be brought in by someone called Ocho, which is one of his I think it's one of his kind of Yakuza people from Ringo. They have cannons and stuff. A lot of the prisoners are finding all these weapons and stuff that should have been exported but haven't been. So they're going to make use of them. And we see here that the prisoners are speaking about making sure that they don't just all move in one huge group at one specific time. They know when they have to be at Port Tokage by. But they don't want to be there. They don't want to essentially have a huge crowd of people on the day that the Shogun's procession is marching from the capital through Port Habu. Essentially what they want to do is they want to make sure once the procession of the king, once the procession of the Shogun has essentially completed, that's when they'll depart for the it looks like it, at least. So once they depart for Onigashima, and once the capital starts celebrating the fire festival, no one will mind having a big crowd of people going towards wherever they're going towards, and that's what they're hoping to do. So yeah, everyone's essentially deciding on a time when they need to go there, even though I'm pretty sure they already decided the time. But I think what they're trying to say is, let's not make it as obvious as we possibly can. Let's make it quite inconspicuous, which is fair. We then go to Kuri, Amigasa village. So this is where Usopp and Frankie, were going to go to meet up with the rest of the crew. We see Luffy here. Everyone else is here. They find some Kabuto armor, some samurai armor, and they I think it's Brook, yeah. Brook, what's his name? Chopper and Luffy here. They all wear that Kabuto armor, and it looks pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, especially because Luffy has like one arm just bare and the other in armor. He looks super cool, and I'm not sure which swords they're using. But I like the fact that Robin's here, like, oh, you all look so cute, you look like insects. I was like, really? Sanji has a pop here at Zoro because of his lower bounty. Zoro slices off part of the island again, and I think it's actually part of the island that he's already sliced off before, because you see it has a flat edge. So I think he's just slicing part of Wano off like iteratively, and he's gonna eventually Wano's just gonna be like it's gonna just look like plantain slices in a freaking frying pan. Nami gets pissed off, all that good shit. But this is where Robin brings up a point. She says Orochi mentioned that Onigashima's entrance is always in winter. Now I'm not sure if this is referring to something else. Maybe like, you know, Orochi, maybe he waxed poetry or something like that. He maybe he's just that guy. But if you take it very literally, he's, you know, they're gonna go to Onigashima and be met with essentially a very wintry climate. Carrot here brings up the point that, you know, it's gonna be fine for us as the Minks. We all got our fur, right? We're all good. Even though the musketeer here, Giovanni, I swear he's a zebra, and I'm not sure if they're too good in the cold. We find out the musketeers' names here. These are Inuyasha's musketeers. The lion one, I think it's a lion. His name's Sicilian, which is very similar to Sicilian, which I'm not sure if that's a character in the Musketeers. I'm not sure if these guys are actually named after the Musketeers, because I've never read the book and I've never actually seen the Musketeers either. So we have Sicilian, Consulate, which is like some fox looking one. I don't know, some sort of, he looks more like a, I'll say fox, but he don't look like no fox to me. And then we have Giovanni, who's the zebra. But essentially what they're talking about here is, you know, their biggest worry is the fact that if it's wintry conditions, if the climate itself is very overcast, that means the moon, which should be a full moon on that night, may be hidden behind the clouds. Nami makes mention of the fact that, you know, if all the Minks had the benefits of a full moon, i.e. Sulong form, basically at their beck and call, then it'd be chilling. They'd be able to steamroll whoever they go up against, unless it's Big Mom or Kaido, or maybe one of the, you know, one of the higher level crew members, maybe like Katakuri or something, who I doubt is actually here, but maybe, for instance, Perospero and what's her name, the useless sweet commander, the thick one. You know what I'm talking about, right? Smoothie, that's the one. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, basically they're not too sure whether they're going to be able to use their Sulong forms because of the wintry conditions. Here we see something I actually really liked. We see Luffy here contemplating. He's like, Big Mom is in Wano, but Jinbei isn't here yet. So, you know, he's the reason we were able to escape. He was our rear guard, all that good stuff. I ordered him to come back as his captain to meet us in Wano, but he's still not here. So I love the fact that once again it's showing Luffy in his role as the captain, right? He has to be wary, and he has to have some sort of responsibility over the lives of his crew. And that's something he learned all the way back in Shabodi when everyone got blasted away, and he was there basically in tears by the end of it because he lost his crew. So I think from then especially, and then over the however many arcs we've had since then, he's really come into that position of captaincy of, you have responsibility over your crew's lives. And even though Jinbei hasn't like officially become a crew member yet, he's basically said, I'm part of your crew, and Luffy's asked him to join the crew. Jinbei has accepted. There's been no like official, I don't think, like, yeah, the whole crew comes together and clanks tankards or some shit, but you know, technically he's a part of the crew. So Luffy's there concerned for him. And I like that Zoro's just like, you know, if he's alive, he'll come. And Luffy's like, yeah, defo. And then we come to this part. This part's actually quite sad when you see what Kinemon tells us near the end. So this is still 2 days ago. We're outside the gates of the flower capital, Ibisu town. And it turns out the Witching Hour Boy came last night. So the Witching Hour Boy is still a thing. We don't know who he is. He has to be one of the Red Scabbards at this point, right? Maybe. Or did we already find out who he was? I don't know who he is. But I feel like he's going to be what's his name? Denjiro. So everyone in Ibisu town has been given some food, they've been given some water, they've all been well fed essentially. And then we go to Okobore town, where what's his name, Holdem, is basically just going through the village trying to see where all this food that's been stolen from the farms of Kaido and of Orochi, where all this food is gone. So he's going through the village and he's basically asking everyone, he's like, where the frick's all the food gone, man? Like, you need to tell me where my food is. The people here know that it's like, shit, if what we've heard about the 9 Red Scabbards returning is a thing, if there's even a slight chance that that's true, we can't tell Holdem. We're not going to tell Holdem. So they're saying, no, we ain't going to tell shit. Suru pops out, basically covering for everyone's ass. She's like, oh, I'll show you where the food went, just don't lay another hand on these people. And the villagers know, they're like, yo, shit, Osuru's actually going to, like, she's going to risk her booty cheeks. Well, she's basically not even risking it. She's laying her booty cheeks out on the line, saying, yeah, I'll take one for the team. Peace out. And yeah, you know, it was maybe a good move. for Suru, she's gonna do the honorable thing because she's like, oh, you can follow me. It'll be a long journey. Telling this to Holdem, knowing Holdem will probably full well kill her when he finds out that she was just bullshitting him, and she led him ages away where there was nothing really for her to tell him. And the reason why she does this, and this is where I had newfound respect, and it's another one of those kind of like when you learn about the story of the 47 Ronin and then the kind of Hollywood version, this actually comes up. It's very similar to that, where the wives of the samurai, so the wife of the main samurai in the movie 47 Ronin, she kind of displays that honor of, her husband. Technically, he tells her like, I gotta divorce you, kind of, because you can't be affiliated with me. I'm a samurai I'm a Ronin that's gonna go and exact revenge for my lord. You can't have a relationship with me. So Suru is kind of doing the same thing here, in the sense of she knows that it's kind of in that same vein of honor. She knows somewhere deep down, after having met Kikunojo or Kiku, and she knows that Kinemon is alive. She knows that the 9 red scabbards are back. And when with all this food that's gone missing, she knows that Kinemon must have gathered a huge force. They're trying to feed these people. That's where all the food is gone. So she's like, I'm gonna take one for the team. I'm gonna go basically hold them on some wild goose chase, and I'm not gonna basically allow them to find out what's been going on, just in case one of the villagers slips up. The villagers here, though, they go in, and I was like, oh shit. And when you see what happens later, it was actually like, even though we don't know these villagers, we only know Suru really, it's still kind of painful when you see how Kinemon's dealing with it. So the villagers here cover for Osuru, saying, you know what, that's bullshit. We, getting enough food to eat our fill was a dream come true. None of us would mind dying that. And I think what they're saying here is essentially they're implying that they ate the food, and Holdem's obviously like, yes, this is my time to shine. So then we come to these gifters. I think they're gifters. One of them's got butterfly wings. One of them's got like, he's half freaking eagle or some shit, not like Pell. And then one of them is he's just Angel from X-Men, but a weightier version. But this is the night before the battle, so there's been a day in that time when Usopp and Frankie were meant to come back. So who knows where they are? And they've been ordered here. It's like, stop lollygagging. We see the Sonny in a little cave, Kuri Beach, and they explode it. They just straight up explode it. There's nothing more to say. The benefit here is that Adam's wood is meant to be pretty damn strong. But it's a pretty big explosion, and I'm not sure whether the Sonny could just point blank take a huge ass explosion like that. I don't think, like, Adam's wood is meant to be, I think, the strongest wood that you can build a ship out of, right? I think even Goldie Roger's ship was made out of that. But that's a big explosion. I'm not sure whether there's bound to be some damage, right? So then you see here what basically whose hand is crafting this devilish scheme, and you see what it is it's Orochi. He's there marking off all the bridges and stuff that connect Udon to Hakumai, or is it even a Hakumai? Kibi to, it's not even a Hakumai, I don't think. I think I made that up. Hakumai is the artist. But basically Kibi to the districts. So Kibi to Udon, Ringo to Takagi, and basically all these little parts of Wano, all the little bridges that connected them. He's blowing each of them one up in succession. And he's basically disconnecting this jigsaw of an island that is Wano, so that none of these, so that all of these little groups of people in cahoots with the samurai, with the 9 red scabbards, can't meet up at Port Tokage, which is where he's been tipped off they'll go to meet. And he talks about how Yasui made a fool of him basically publicly by announcing that it was all a prank. It's a prank, bro. So all of his retainers, Orochi, wouldn't believe him. They're not going to do anything for him. But Orochi happens to be the Shogun, so he orders these guys to break all the links between Wano, so that no one can move. And you see the people of the people coming from these different islands shitting their pants, especially between Ringo and Hakumai. Yeah, Hakumai, I was right. So what was the artist I was talking about? Who, the wave guy? What's his name? You guys will tell me. But yeah, so Ringo and Hakumai, you see people there like, shit, the bridges connecting the two regions, it's bust, what do we do now? We see all the ships at Port Itachi being broken, and just the ships, the presence of the ships at Port Itachi and the presence of the Sonny in Kuri Beach, that was kind of, I feel, for Orochi, and it should be confirmation enough that there are people on the island that aren't supposed to be on the island, and there's something going on beneath or within the shadows that he probably wasn't aware of and that he's been tipped off about. And even though nobody else believes him, he's basically prepared for these contingencies. And I love the fact that Orochi, even though he looks stupid with his crown kind of tilting on his head, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm going to prepare for the worst case situation, the worst case scenario, and even if these people try to make it come to fruition, I'm going to stop them. Nothing's going to happen. So he's there going balls to the wall here, breaking everything, the link between Kuri and Udon and all that good shit, and he's there basically preparing for the worst case situation. So I thought that was awesome. He doesn't really give a shit here whether people mock him or anything like that. He says he's the one with power. So 4,000 people essentially can't make their way to Port Takagi and Udon from Ringo, Kibi, the flower capital, Hakumai, Kuri. They can't make their way there because all the bridges have been blown to shit. So then we essentially, he's not giving the red scabbards. This part is like the really cynical part. He's like, the 9 red scabbards, they'll have to deal with true despair, and they won't even be given the opportunity to take revenge. So he's taking away even the idea of revenge. He's not stopping them in the midst of their revenge. He's stopping even the idea of the revenge, which is quite cynical and quite cool. So then we go back to the present Port Tokage, where Kinemon and the rest are basically just trying to pull this tiny ass boat that survived together. And Momonosuke is basically going apeshit, telling them all, stop saying it's suicide. We can do this at another time. We'll find another date to exact our revenge. And Kinemon's basically there saying, bitch, listen up. The only other time we can do this is in a year's time when they go back to Onigashima and the fire festival's back. We cannot wait another year because we've basically not been discreet enough. We're gonna be found out eventually. We don't have a year where we can just hide in the shadows. It's not gonna happen. Their capture of Udon will be exposed. Kaido's going to send out his armies to bitch slap him back to whichever dynasty they're from. They're not going to be able to steal any more food either. And this is the part where I was like, oh shit. We see that because of the stolen food reports, Okabore town in Kuri was razed to the ground. It was completely destroyed and burnt to the ground by Holdem and his mandem. And you see here, like through the rain, possibly tears as well, Kinemon's like, my wife was there. And I was like, oh shit, dude, like his wife was there. So I was like, that's a little bit, I feel bad for Kinemon. After 20 long years, he didn't want to go back to his wife. He didn't even want to see his wife because he was like, I've got a mission to deal with first. I can't look at my wife without completing the task set to me by Odin, by Lord Kozuki, Odin. So the fact that he still had that kind of pride, that honor, now chances are that Suru is dead. I feel like she's not dead. I get the feeling, it's very Oda. It would be very Oda-esque if she wasn't dead and if a few of the people in the town lived. But you can see where Kinemon's coming from. He completely thinks his wife is probably very, very, very dead. And he's basically begging here. He's like, let us go, Lord Momonosuke. Would you really ask us to turn away, run away in shame, and live the rest of our lives in shame again? Momonosuke obviously asks, what the hell is going to become of me? Raizo's answer here is quite shitty, really. He's like, survive, live, and together with Lady Hiyori, you can maybe start another rebellion. Momonosuke is having none of that shit. He's like, bro, that's a bullshit plan. That is a shit plan. Like, just survive. And I'm saying, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to work. So Kinemon here actually mentions a really good point. Well, not a really good point. I think he's trying to make Momonosuke feel like, maybe understand that he can survive alone. But I'm just like, Kozuki Odin was a lot older than Momonosuke is right now when he had to probably survive alone. And they kind of all say their little bit in peace. Apart from Kiku Nojo, who's still in his armor, we can't even see any of him. He's wearing the Kabuto armor, he's got the horns, he's got the Oni mask. We haven't seen any of him, to be fair. But the rest of them just like, we would never have become the samurai that we are right now if it wasn't for Odin. And that's why we got to carry out our duty as Lord Odin's samurai until the bitter end. And I love that panel. Apart from the fact that the artwork looks a little bit weird on that panel. Maybe if it was like a double spread, but I love that panel. In the rain, you got Kinemon sat at the front with his kind of, I forgot what the hat is called. I think is it called an amigasa? He's got his whatever that hat is called. He's got it really shadowing his eyes, pointed downwards. Everyone's looking grim as shit. I like that. That looks so cool. We then go back to Odin, who's this is a flashback once again from Kinemon, and we get that same kind of message being told to us. This country is isolated. The reason for that is deeply connected to the Kozuki clan. We'll need to expand on that in the story, hopefully. But in order for the tides of this world to turn, we must open Wano's borders. This is 39 years ago. So even 39 years ago, Odin's whole thing was, we're going to open up Wano's borders. So then we see this guy walking around, and he's got that kind of Orochimaru ribbon on his back, and that Kaido kind of ribbon on his back, which is I think it's meant to be like around a thing of importance. So, Odin wearing that suggests he might either be very proud, or it's just popular samurai / son of a shogun wear. I'm not sure. Anyway, he's walking through the town, and this is really weird because Odin's walking through the town, and I'd understand if people hated him, but they're saying hide your daughters, hide your wives, close up your shops, hide your livestock. Here he comes. I'm just like, hide your livestock? Like, what the hell is he gonna do? Like, I understand closing up your shops, hiding your wives, and hide your daughters. Like, yeah, that's Wild West. You'd bar your bars and your taverns and shit. But why you gotta hide your livestock? What the hell's Odin doing? What the hell's Odin doing around here? Is there a reason why he ain't wearing pants walking through the center of the flower capital? Is he doing something to your livestock? You tell me. Anyway, everyone's there like Kozuki Odin has returned. He failed to set sail again. I feel like that's a key point. Hurry up and die already. This country is too cramped, and how suffocating and overbearing, man. I get the feeling that this reminded me of when Gildarts came to I forgot what the capital of Magnolia, I think it was called. But in Fairy Tail, when Gildarts comes back to the guild for the first time, and everyone obviously loves him, but they had to do kind of like a reorganization of the city just so that he didn't destroy anything. And I feel like this is similar in the fact that how everyone's so panicked rather than excited for Gildarts. I feel like I just feel like Odin has some sort of devil fruit, whether that's why they're hiding their freaking livestock, hiding their wives and their kids and stuff like that. But it could very well just be like because the women are being hidden. I'm not sure why the livestock being hidden, but the men are still outside. They seem to be completely fine, so I don't think there's any like ominous devil fruit effect, even though that's what I thought originally. It might just be because his pants seem to be missing, but I don't know, something's up with Odin, and they obviously don't like him, and I'm hoping he's not an Okama, because I feel like we've seen enough Okama, and I want to see Odin just be a complete badass. So that's basically the end of the chapter. That's the end of this review. It's been a long one considering the chapter wasn't actually like, it wasn't an information bomb, but I did enjoy it. I think everyone seems to still be alive. They just need to find a way to convene somewhere, a convenient location where they'd all be able to kind of find each other. And I'm not sure what that is. Maybe there should have been a contingency that they'd set up between each other. Like, oh, by the way, if shit goes to shit and we can't meet up at Port Takagi, maybe we meet up at the other side or something like that. But the reality is, the entirety of Wano has now just been like, it's disjointed. He's siloed each little island region of Wano by destroying all of the bridges. Orochi, that is. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. Let me know what you guys thought of our boy Odin at the end with his lack of pants, but his two very, very famous blades. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you guys hopefully in a bit. Hopefully tomorrow when I release my Hero Academia review, and I might sprinkle a little bit of that One Punch Man review, which I should have done about 2 weeks ago. But I'll see you guys in a bit.